close to what I would say. However, I don't know if everyone anticipated Bank being the first map here, being a big surprise. They are going to bring that Jackal you were talking about. Uke also playing a lot of Glaz. There's been a lot of Glaz play this season, more than maybe I would expect, but I'm interested to see how it works out here for Uke. Buck as well. Like, they're definitely bringing a lot of firepower. Hopefully Jackal could get some footprints, though, to help out with that so they can actually make use of that intel.
Yeah, the roam game seems like it's going to come down to Ella and possibly Astra. So I think Gohan and Astra are going to be, obviously, they're two roamers. They're the two 3-speeds on the team.
Yeah.
But I think we actually saw, it was either Team Fontt or BRK, when they played on Bank earlier this season, we saw an Ella and Legion roam in the archive.
Yeah, I think people have decided that wasn't working,
No,
and it hasn't been
did not work.
Hasn't been repeated so much. It was a very beginning of the season sort of thing.
That actually might have been on between Team Fontt and Encore when Encore 5-0'd them.
That was probably it. Mav, I would expect to maybe do some roaming as well. Valkyrie is an operator we've seen be kind of a flex play, where he sometimes play site, sometimes play roam. The C4 is great for both, and the cameras obviously really help with roaming. So I would be surprised to see a little bit of roam coming out of Mav. But definitely, yeah, Gohan going to be the only team that really plays much Ella on site is Most Wanted on that Oregon play just to stop plants. And I don't expect to see that here. And like you said, Jaeger as well. So they've got a lot of utility to stop plants. They've got two C4s from Mira and Valkyrie. They've got the smoke. They've got all the ADSs from Jaeger, and then Ella on the roam, with also the ability to come back to site and deny some plants with those Ella mines. So they have a lot of plant denying power here. The question is, will they get a chance to use it? And is that actually, are we starting Teller's archives here first?
No, we are downstairs, I believe.
Sometimes it's hard to tell how high up that is from the observer. No, it is downstairs, you're right. Okay, good. Because that would be odd to start Teller's archives. We've seen it done, but it's definitely rare. So we see this is a typical entry for a Jackal. He's going to come in here and he's going to look for those roams by trying to catch footprints, because that's somewhat of a safe area as long as you don't get flanked there. And there's plenty of footprints. Someone get a mop for that floor. It's tracking on all that mud.
So that appears like it's likely going to be, I want to say, Mav, potentially.
Go Hack, unfortunately, not cut out, so he's going to be thrown, but they have figured out at least where he's at. And you see him using those Ella mines to try and cover his flank if they push on him. But Astra the first to go. That is a good start for BRK.
Yeah, Nesk will pick up that frag. Gohan's going to be droned out by Uke here, and a couple wall bang shots coming through. Nesk woman on the right, Zig on the left. Zig's going to down him, and that's going to be BRK picking up a second frag on the round.
So they are off to a strong start on a map that was definitely a challenge against Fontt here. But we can see Fontt adapting as well to this, even if they lose this round. Hopefully this Glaz will be effective, as it can get a little dicey down there once you start approaching.
Yeah, I think a lot of this is going to come down to a smoke plant in towards the server's side, towards CCTV. But I mean, right here we're seeing Moringa set himself up inside of lockers with a double hole in the wall to toss his grenades through, toss his gas canisters through.
Yeah, that is effective to have that distance. You still got to watch out for Glaz getting a little bit of accessibility on you, because he could just spot those little tiny flecks of you and then just nail you. Moringa also going to be able to help deny stuff, but losing your two roamers is not a great start because it was so early in the round.
Mav is going to tuck himself over by elevators as the onslaught's going to continue here from BRK. There's 35 seconds left to go. Nesk holding down the window of the main staircase down inside of the lobby. Bullet's going to be looking through the drop hatch of the hallway as well from Garage. And droning is going to commence here. BRK looking to push in momentarily. Looks like the drop's going to come on through. Zig trying to bait out a gas grenade, so there's the first one. Second one's going to go on in as well. And it looks as though another kill here. That is Nesk with a 3K. He gets a 4K on the round. Can he get a fifth one? Uke's going to die by a smoke grenade as well. Cameraman, last guy alive. And there's one kill down. He's got 3 more to go. One's going to move on forward. Looks like a shotgun kill from Cameraman. Doesn't land the trick. And Nesk walks away with a 4K as one picks up the final kill of the round. And we will have BRK secure round number 1.
Definitely got a little scrappy towards the end there, but getting the manpower in your advantage early like that, taking down 2 strong fraggers, was really what made that work. Because I feel like had they been able to get back to site, had we seen Astro, for example, get back, or Gohan, it definitely would have been a big problem for them to try and attack that site at that point, just because they're definitely going to be refragging very hard. And you saw a lot of trades back and forth. We could see that Ella Legion roam that we were talking about as well, so they are going to be bringing that. Should be interesting to see if that works. but roaming did not work for Fontt. However, that was the first time. They are going to obviously change, well, I would hope, obviously change what they're doing on the roam in terms of getting pinched out so easily. Obviously, Jackal didn't catch the roamers himself, so he wasn't a huge factor in that, but he did know at least where someone was back on site.
Now, yesterday we had mentioned about how some of the players on Rogue, or other teams as well, but Rogue in particular I think is who we honed in on, the players were changing the operators they were typically used to playing on. We talked about Slash and how we didn't really see him on Valkyrie until the very end of Oregon, and by then it was already too late. Here we're actually not seeing Astro on Twitch this time. We're seeing Gohan on
Yeah,
Twitch.
that is an interesting change. I'm not sure. I mean, I guess we'll have to see how Astro performs, but I feel like he really uses that F2 to full effect. I think with that gun, so I would hope he's really figured out how to use the other gun. Otherwise, I'm not sure Gohan will be able to do. I mean, Gohan's a great fragger, but I'm not sure he'll be able to be the same level of effectiveness with that Twitch. But maybe he's got good Twitch drone skills that we're yet to see to take down those mirror windows. I mean, the defenders are bringing similar lineup to what the previous defenders brought, except for they switched out Jaeger for Bandit pretty much and Smoke for Legion. So that means there's going to be less defense on site in terms of stopping a plant. So this is down to this roam. You see Bullet there and Yuke on a Bandit Legion roam, and then Ella's going to be around as well. So that's 3 roamers potentially. This is on Astro to try and do something about it with that Jackal visor.
You can see they're trying to go for a wide pinch with someone on top of garage, or sorry, at the main entranceway. This is Moringa on the rappel. Astro's trying to come in around from the back square lobby. And, ooh, there's Bullet getting his side tacked by Gohack.
Oh, there goes Astro down again. That's the second time he's been the first to die on Fontt. It's definitely not been going well for this team. That bodes very well for BRK if they can continue to repeat that. Similar to what we saw when Nesk was the top fragger.
That's also the Jackal off the board. And as we said, Jackal's brought to kind of give a lot of pressure towards those roamers. And with that being the case, him off the board as well as it being Astro, a very talented individual, it's got to give a little bit of momentum here for BRK. And
we also saw Gohan on that Twitch not able to finish his kills, so already not a great start for seeing how he uses that gun. However, it's a little too early to judge how he's going to perform with that.
It is.
But overall, Fontt just definitely showing a little bit of weakness here, especially with the 3 roamers still alive a minute and a half in. That is not good at all once you've lost your roam hunter off the board. So they are going to be a huge problem here. They could see a collapse on them coming soon, but I'm not seeing Fontt really collapsing very fast here. They're having trouble with the outside people getting in position late, especially Moringa here. And there goes Gohan as well. That is not at all good. You've mostly got your utility players left, and a Blackbeard is not going to be a great roam hunter.
Fontt is monstrously,
monstrously,
that one. Monstrously spread out. Moringa gets taken down on the server stairs. Mav's going to move in from the alleyway, and we also have Cameraman working his way down.
And Bullet still left alive with low health, but he's got more than enough time to start throwing some Legion Mines. He's trapped here, but so much time being burnt on Mob. And that kill alone is not going to make very big difference, especially now that Thermite's trapped down here by himself. There's still enough C4s on the board from Valkyrie and Mira to easily stop him from doing anything at this point. And he hasn't even opened the wall that you need to plant with.
No, he hasn't. Instead, they're going to go for the long wall here, possibly going for a flashbang plant. But right now what I think we're going to see is one trying to get a couple shots onto Mav, broke his shield down, took him down to about 10 health. There's 15 seconds left on the board. Flashbang's going to go out. Cameraman trying to go for a plant from behind, but he knows he's being clutched upon. And we will have Mav go down. Last kill's going to come on around. Cameraman picks off Yuke, but he's got 3 more to kill. And unfortunately, I don't think he's going to get a chance to do it. He's going for a pistol kill. Some shots come in from above by Nesk. He will take down Cameraman, and BRK Esports will walk away 2-0.
That was definitely a tough situation to be in. You've lost your heavy fraggers. You've lost a lot of the utility off the board. You've got to deal with Bandit having his trick there, and he had to kind of find an angle. I imagine Blackbeard would have been better off as a Glaz right there because he couldn't see very well into that hallway because of the lighting and things like that. He might have been able to see a little glimmer of yellow had he been on Glaz. He might have been able to stop that kill on him because that shield was not doing a whole lot in terms of it just getting sprayed down heavily because that Vector is such a beast in terms of spraying out bullets.
It also depends on how much time you have, but I think the Glaz would have been a better call because the mirror window was on a soft wall.
Yeah, so he would have been able to even put a hole in it.
Put a hole in it, but also basically just go around, and you can actually get rid of that mirror window with the caliber destruction that the Glaz sniper brings.
Yeah, so it definitely would have worked out better. Overall, though, I think at that point, might not have made a whole lot of difference.
No,
so.
I mean, like I said, if time permitted and player count permitted, I think that would have been one kind of tactic.
Wow.
But
Nesk with 7.
That's going
He's
ham
doing
here.
some work for his team, so
4
maybe
kills.
he's the reason why Fontt's not doing so great, because he is just really taking out the top fraggers on their team, taking down Astro and Gohan a lot,
Well,
and that is being a big problem for them.
I think with Nesk, it's not just him. Yes, he's picking up the kills, but as we saw, it was him and Zig coming in together, and they were flushing out the roamers on the top floor in round number 1. They're likely to do it again here on round number 2.
So it's a case where if Fontt plays the roam smarter, I could see them coming back this round. But we saw much better roam play, absolutely, from BRK last round, and that's what Fontt needs to be doing. Maybe they need to be going with a 3-man roam.
By roam smarter, they've insisted on going all the way downstairs. There's not a single roamer that I see.
I think, yeah, maybe they decided they were more effective stopping the plant. But hopefully they left some stuff that makes it some utility setup, some kill holes, things like that, that at least make BRK spend some time upstairs trying to double check everything and making sure, because they're going to suspect roamers. The lack of roamers actually makes you a little more paranoid, because where are these guys? I know there's got to be roamers. This is Bank after all.
And I think that's where Jackal comes into play to basically ease that tension, ease that idea that, hey, we don't see any roamers, but there has to be some. Why are we not seeing any? Jackal can help alleviate that by spotting those footprints upstairs and marking them, saying, okay, they are back on site.
Yeah, and this is a situation, though, where BRK have to take advantage of it by controlling all the rotates back up. They need to control, especially that server stairs right there, to make sure that those roamers don't come back up, because you're going to have Ella on that 3-speed being pretty stealthy, able to sneak around behind if you're not covering all the exits from site. We can easily see those roamers turn around, come back upstairs. We've seen it time and time again when people are trying to fire down hatches on this map, especially that square lobby hatch, getting shot from behind because they're not covering that server stairs well enough.
Now there's half a round left to go here as Team Fontt is going to continue trying to hold down servers. Gohan's going to be the one to do it.
Seems risky being a 3-speed behind there. We've seen what happens unless you're Jaeger to be able to stop grenades and things like that from getting you. It could be problematic. He could be pinned down there and be ineffective. You see Nesk trying to counter that. He's going to start throwing out flashbangs, though. There is at least some Jaeger help there.
Oh, there's another Jaeger charge. That's going to drop all 4 away. That means we're going to have flashbangs finally come out. But Gohan goes for a peek perfectly. That's going to down Zig. Diffuser's going to fall as well. Nade's going to go flying, and Gohan might be eating the dust here. There it goes. Wonderful frag, but Gohan did pick up a kill onto Nesk. That's bottom of the stairs. That's going to be the Ella off the board as well as the Ash.
Well, that is the
4 on
top
4 with
fragger.
45 seconds to go.
So with Nesk off the board, they do have a bit more of a chance here. I mean, Gohan did an okay job there. He delayed a lot of time, made them spend a lot of utility, got a kill. I'd say job well done.
1 frag grenade, 1 Ash charge, and 3 flashbangs. That's
Yeah.
what it cost to get him out, as well as about a minute.
So now a little bit more desperate on this attack.
They're going to go in for a very hard rush here, and the plant's going to go right behind the diffuser. However, there it goes. Cameraman tossing in a C4 to take him out. Astro's also going to pick up a kill with a 416. Another one here. It's all up to Bullet. He's going to be at the bottom of the main stairwells, looks over to the left door, and Mav is there to take his head off. That's going to be Team Fontt finally on the board. It's 2-1.
So proving that the roam game didn't work, playing on site definitely worked a lot better for Fontt that time. I mean, I credit a lot of that to Gohan because he made them down to the point where they only had 30 seconds left in the push. You saw the desperation there on that push because they were trying to get it down before the last seconds where some kind of denial would stop them from getting the plant down, and then they would lose on time. So just the mad scramble there, and then losing Nesk as well. If they were going to lose anyone, that was the wrong person to lose on that fight with Gohan. And so well played by him. That could have easily gone sideways for him, being trapped behind there. You saw Nesk, for example, using the breach charges even to try and hit him from the side and force him out, but they seemed a little uncoordinated on the attack and maybe a little too greedy. Maybe they shouldn't have even bothered with it in terms of countering it like that. But ultimately, Fontt at least finally get their first round on the board here. And now we're going to see a different bomb site because BRK won the downstairs. They're going to be going to that Teller's Archive that I wasn't sure if we were seeing earlier. And bringing a slightly different lineup to do so, we're going to see a Rook of all things from Nesk. Interesting choice from a 3-speed heavy fragger. And then Echo here, another, it's a 1-speed. Same with Rook.
We are seeing the 1-speed meta potentially come out on Bank here.
Yeah.
You've got Echo, Mira, and Rook.
And Nesk, I mean, is he going to be holding sight? Like, this will be, are we going to see that Rook roam, that the legendary Rook or Doc roam that we see occasionally?
It's a very mythical beast that we don't get to see much often.
No, but when it works, it is we have seen even a Doc shotgun kill in this room before once.
Yes, we have.
That was truly magical. But they are still getting set up. It's a little late to be doing some of this barbed wire here, but nonetheless, they are still relatively safe as you're not going to see, at least right now, you're not going to see Fontt just storming into the building. They're definitely droning carefully, trying to play smart about this so they have some idea, because the roam was such a big problem for them before.
We are seeing a very, I'll call it an aggressive defensive setup. We have all of the top floor under control by the defenders. They're staying inside of the janitor's closet with a mirror window facing the CEO's office. Likely there's going to be a rotate hole over towards the meeting hall, or the meeting room per se. Here's Bullet. Cameron's going to spot him out. Astro likely to go and push this.
Now he is kind of somewhat pinched in there if he can't get to the hatch in time. So they do have to be smart and maybe aim for the hatch as well when they pressure him out to make sure he can't escape from there. But sometimes a cornered ret, you know, like you saw what happened with Gohan, can be pretty lethal. So he's just playing it as long as he burns up at least a decent amount of time and maybe gets a kill or an injure, it'll still help his team quite a bit.
Yeah, if he can hold them off until about a minute, 50 seconds, I'd say either 50 seconds or a minute, he will have done his job very well. But he still has a lot of utility, so it's very possible that he can do this.
I mean, he has those elements that can really make it hard to push him. However, this is more important than it was when they were down in the basement. Controlling the top floor here, a lot more important than when you're down there. So he's really got to do his job as long as he possibly can. He decides to rotate out, though, but he's left Yuke to do his job. Interesting little changing of the shifts there.
I like that, though, because they realize that Ella's mines can be very useful during the push towards the end of the round. And so they're willing to sacrifice Yuke instead of Bullet. Now, Yuke will also fall back down to the site. The 60 seconds left on the board. Astra's going to try looking on down server stairs as Yuke swings all the way around here by the main staircase. Bullet looks like he's going to get injured. No, he's not. He's going to go down. Mav, however, will get killed.
That's the second mirror kill on that Blackbird. But that's what I'm saying. That Vector is just tearing up that shield and getting those kills. Because even if you don't hit the shield, you're going to do so much damage to his body at such a rapid rate that it is a very good gun against him.
Now, we did see the Yokai doing some work there, disorienting some of the attackers here on Team Fontt. Right now, there are 30 seconds remaining. Gohan's trying to look at the front lobby. He's going to go, and Moringa will bite the bullets of the bearing 9 here by the Echo. A 3-on-4, now 2-on-4. Cameraman is the last man to stand as Gohan gets shot in the face by Yuke. It's all up to the Buck in the visa office, I'm sorry, the open area. Moving over here, Yuke likely to get this final kill, going to peek on out. And there's going to be a frag. Nice job, Yuke, picking up 2K to end the round. Headshot.
Now, they played it, I guess, in some ways similar to the way Fontt did in terms of, like, you know, when Fontt played downstairs, in terms of rotating back to site. But they were able to do it much later. Yeah, Bullet was the first to go, but he had already done so much delaying at that point, and then working with Yuke on that as well. I think he was very effective. And unfortunately, those elements actually backfired a little bit even. You saw Echo get hit by one of those because he walked into it, and you've got to be really, like, cautious about the range, because the range on that thing is massive. It's like a black hole of just drunkenness for the team when someone walks into it. So you've got to be very careful with your placement, and sometimes you can really backfire on the team. Luckily, Echo was able to land a shot, so he was well prepared because there was that one entrance he was watching, and he was ready for it. So that worked out in his favor. Obviously, laying down as well for 3 armor is actually very strong, because you actually lower chance of hitting the head if you're feet first like that, and having the extra armor means you can soak up a lot of bullets and get the chance to return fire on their head, because you're going to be aiming head height. So he did have a bit of an advantage there. And that's something to consider when you're playing those 3 armors, is playing to the strengths of having that extra armor. But overall, 3-1 here, going very good for BRK. So far, these rounds are coming down to desperation from Fontt, and it is really working out from BRK. Fontt able to pull it off the previous time, but they need to be able to create that desperation again here for BRK.
It seems as though Team Fontt is struggling to either collapse on the roamers or to navigate their way around the attackers that are pushing onto their roamers. It seems as though they're going for these gunfights or just flat out being outflanked. And that's where they need to improve if they want to pull out ahead. Yeah,
and it's not like a case where they don't have Valkyrie, for example, but I feel like the Jackal doesn't seem to be getting a lot of work done. And they seem to be, I don't know if it's struggling with communication or intel, but they don't seem to have a lot of good situational awareness of where the other players are. And that's why they're winning these gunfights. You saw, like, I think it was Yuke just jump out of that elevator and get that kill because they didn't know he was in there, potentially. I mean, so I think overall they're not doing a great job of narrowing down where people are so they can make those pinches.
It almost seems like Team Fontt's making assumptions as to where the attackers are or the defenders are, whatever side they may be going up against, instead of actually getting that information. They're more so saying, okay, they're not here, they have to be here.
Yeah, and it's clearly not working out most of the time here. I like that angle that that Ella had going through that hole in the floor. You see that sometimes some creative holes down at like feet level to be able to get some interesting angles across. With them, we may see that factor in if he's able to kind of hold that area. And we see a lot of utility invested right here as well, trying to cover this drop hatches on open area. Interesting strategy.
I like that, though. I don't think we've seen that necessarily before, or at least not in the mainstream meta on Bank. We have these 2 mirror windows inside of kitchen dining facing the open area and that middle office.
Yeah, and I kind of hope to see it work here, whether it wins the round or not. I'd like to see like the impact that this has on the round. Fortunately for them, Glass, though, is ready to at least do some damage down there without having to go into the area.
And there's going to be that first kill on the round. Gohan's going to go down. Not a single smoke grenade being deployed.
That is a good start here, as Nesk is still on the board as well. And Gohan down, Astro low on health.
Yeah, 1 bullet from Nesk and Astro will fall. It's going to be up to a pre-fire, but I doubt Astro's going to look this high up. He's got more to look at from elevator hallway. He's got more to look at from open area. Flashbang's going to go out. Nesk likely to push in forward here.
That other mine potentially saving Astro's life there, giving him a chance to escape. Nice shot.
Wonderful shot. That's going to be the C4 getting tossed out, but not exploded. C4, the diffuser, will go down. Bullet picked up a frag on a Mav. It's all going to be up to Astro and Cameraman. Astro's came up the server stairs. He's inside of the square lobby right now as Bullet's going to work his way. He will go down. Astro picking up another frag here. 1 on 4 now. With 10 health and a dream, he's going to pop on through the window, but Nesk is already swinging. He'll pick up the kill. Nice and easy. BRK moves on to match point. It's 4-1 in favor of BRK Esports.
I feel like that Glass play is really working out here for this team. Like BRK effectively using it, getting 2 kills with it that round. You almost saw him getting a little greedy, even trying to shoot the C4 out of the air just for fun right after. He didn't need to, but a little bit of showmanship there from Glass. He's just been doing a great job. And then everyone else on the team really following it up. Astro just not able to find his footing in terms of getting a good flank on one of them because he was so pressured, especially from Nesk there, who was patient, flashing down, trying to work his way down. Obviously, he got hit by the yellow mine, but he was able to push it. And so far, these compositions are not working out where they're working out quite well for BRK. So Fontt definitely on the back foot, a match point here, 4-1. They've got to win a lot of rounds. At least it's not going to be a 5-0 like it was with Encore, but it's definitely looking like a good potential 5-1 if Fontt don't adapt.
I agree. I think Fontt needs to change up something here. They need to go either back to how they were winning the last time they played Bank, or go back to what they did against BRK Esports last season. Yeah. You don't necessarily have to force an L. You don't have to force a Ying or a Legion. What you do have to do is win.
Yeah.
And however you're going to best accomplish that is what they need to do here. And it seems as though they're slacking.
Yeah. At this point, I'd rather see Mav on Ying than Blackbeard, because it's just not working. He's just getting decimated by the mirror every time because he's not ready to contest someone that's so turtled up. And they're using that vector to full advantage. And like I said, he'd be better off on the Glass because maybe you'd have a chance of at least seeing him and being able to contest it.
Yep.
Whereas, one is just mowing his face down every time. And, I mean, Legion, he may be not getting people with a ton of the traps. We did see some Legion traps go off. We saw some people pulling the spikes out. But overall, he's doing a great job on the roam. He burned so much time last time playing that Legion. And we have talked down a little bit on Legion roam because it sometimes can be very ineffective unless you play it correctly. And I give Bullet credit for playing it correctly.
Yeah, I want to say that Bullet and Fabian are kind of the two top of the Pro League Legion players we've seen so far this season.
The exciting part of that is, though, that people can see that and decide whether or not to use him, but do it in a more intelligent way and make effective use of all the operators here. Same with Ying as well. Like, we've seen effective play that other teams can use. And we'll see a lot of changes, I think, in the meta. Maybe even going to finals, it could be a completely different game.
We are going to have CCTV room wall opened up, or server's wall opened up all the way now.
That's quick to be within the first minute, pretty much. They are definitely putting good pressure here. Not sure. I think they're pretty much ignoring the roamers.
They are ignoring. They're going to go for a plant here, and the retake strategy is what BRK is setting themselves up to do. They've given up servers, but they've maintained control over open area.
Yeah, they're going to have to really guard those stairs once they get the plant down, because that's where the pressure is heavily going to come from the roamers. We're going to see Nesk probably barrel down those stairs and just get some kills. Was that a Twitch drone shot?
That was a Twitch drone, yeah. So Gohan's going to be inside by the armored vehicle. He was on the Twitch drone trying to open up a mirror window, I believe. Either that or zap the defender inside of the hallway.
Yeah, they definitely want that mirror window open because mirror's been a problem on this particular site for them. See if Mav can actually stay alive a little bit longer here. Bullet's still hanging out upstairs, kind of being ineffective at this point. Same with Nesk, but they're not really contesting him. So Astra, though, does have a drone that might see him right now. So they do have some good intel. That's a strategy we used to see where a lot of teams would leave drones around the map to cover their flanks and then ignore the roamers. So this is a strategy we have seen be effective before for the attackers. But it really depends on timing here, and Astro trying to be
Now,
the thorn on their side.
the fact that Bullet got spotted out, he knows it. He's going to pre-fire this doorway here. You're going to see right there's the pre-fire. Astro's going to get it a little bit. Ness goes in, sweep, and he'll pick up a frag onto Astro. Mav also going to tag one down onto Yuke, but not before Cameraman falls. Mav and Yuke both picking up more kills, and that looks like Gohan Moringa down for the count. It's all up to Mav, and a 1-on-2 now. He's gotten 1, 2 more to go. Zeke's going to be inside of the red hallway. Another flank coming around from above. That looks like it's going to be Nesk. And now he's got to move in forward. Couple shots going through the wall, through the door, through the hatch. And we are now going to see Mav try to clutch this out with 15 seconds to go. We're going to have this shield get changed on. He's moving over to a 2-speed now. Moves into the red hall, and there is going to be Zig picking up a kill. And BRK will win map number 1, 5-1.
Well, at this point, I got to say, Bank is not Fontt's map anymore.
I'm going to have to change my literature.
Yeah. So that was a great match, though. Well executed by BRK. If BRK are going to land, that is the BRK I would like to see it land.
I think the BRK we see right now is the BRK that has a chance to beat Penta.
Yeah, they are definitely playing very strong here. I mean, against Black Dragons, I don't think we were seeing this level of performance. Whatever they've done since then is clearly working out for them. Maybe they just studied and prepared more for Fontt, but I feel like we're seeing good execution from them. And I wouldn't put it down so much to Fontt making mistakes. However, they do seem to be missing a few things that they usually have. And I think Bank is a map that they've been strong on, but I think it's also a map that they can really struggle with in terms of if they can't get realm war control.
Yeah, it seems like when they're hot, they're on. When they're not, they're dead.
Yeah, 5-0, 0-5, 5-1.
It seems as though if you can stop one key component of Team Fontt's either defense or attack, whatever it may be, the rest crumbles.
Yeah.
It's almost held up on a totem pole and you're knocking out the bottom woodchuck, and the rest of it's just going to fall over.
In this case, I got to say the switch up between having Astro play Jackal and Gohan on Twitch, it just didn't work. Now, whether that was down to their performance or down to good counterplay by BRK, it's hard to say without seeing the whole match from their eyes. But it was definitely a situation where, like we were talking about with Rogue last night, maybe go back to what you know. Maybe go back to what's working, and maybe not play that Blackbeard so much that it was just down to a desperate situation in the end.
So what do you think was, if there was one piece of advice that you could tell Team Fontt, hey, look, this might have been the biggest issue, what would it have been? Their communication, their synergy? Was it their operator choices? Was it the lack of execution? What was the biggest thing?
I mean, they started to address the intel situation at the end by ignoring the roamers and leaving the drones there, and then you had Astro even hunting them. But I feel like put Astro back on Twitch. Like, he's been the preeminent Twitch player for a long time because it works. He's the guy who puts his headphones on the other way and come back 4 rounds. Like, don't change that. I mean, it doesn't work. They do need to be better prepared to counter Glaz, too, for example, because you saw them really falling apart to Glaz. But that was also because Glaz wasn't sticking his face in situations where he was easily killed. He was playing it smart, like attacking for above, after they'd kind of cleared a bit.
Yes.
And so I think there's quite a few little parts they could pick if they were paying attention to that round in terms of, okay, like there was a few things we could do that are more universal in terms of like things we can do regardless in the map. And going into Consulate, like, some of those could be a big problem for them because there's a great roam play on that map as well.
It plays very similarly to the roam game on Bank.
Yeah, and the top floor control also being a big thing. You see, for example, the admin pushes regardless of bomb site kind of thing. If BRK are ready to counter admin, this could be a real problem for Fontt going into this map. Like, if they play it anyway like they did Bank right there, and Fontt continues to play the way they're playing, I could see this going into a 2-0 for BRK. Just if they repeat what they did there.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, with BRK, if there's one thing that I want to see continue on that team to be successful, is their flanking or their crossfires, their basically strategies to flush out the roamers.
Yeah.
I keep going back to that first round where we saw Zig and Nesk flush up the top floor, one on the left, one on the right, and they pinched out, I think it was the Ella.
Yeah, it was
floor.
Astro and Ella.
We've seen tactics like that used by Penta with Ents. We've seen other teams in North America use those, and the teams that I can recall that do those successfully, they've always won their series.
Yeah, especially when it comes to that top floor of Bank. It's like, it's such a roam spot, and there are very clear pinch points that you could take, and you saw, like you said, BRK execute on those very effectively right off the bat from the very first round and continue to do so to the point where Fontt only won because they sent everyone downstairs. And so I would hope that's not going to be the case for Fontt on Consulate, that they can play the top floor, because the way the meta is right now, you have to.
You have to.
Like,
regardless of wherever the bomb site is, you have to play that top floor.
And it's a situation where, like, with the bottom floor there on bank, they were able to somewhat stay alive fighting downstairs, only because they were able to burn up enough time to get them like actually desperate at the end. This particular site, there is so much top-down control for that bottom, because the other one, yeah, it has the hatches over the servers and things like that, but this one, literally, you can open up all of the piano floor, and it becomes much more difficult to sit in the site and actually play that same way here. So that's going to be a big problem for them.
Now, we are getting underway, ladies and gentlemen, with our second map in this best-of-3 series between BRK Esports and Team Fontt. BRK won the first map on bank. Consulate is this map, and BRK is going to start on attack. Team Fontt on defense. And here we get going. We are going to see the bottom floor, garage and kitchen.
Yeah,
that first bomb site.
That's the one I was just talking about. This is a case, again, where like Fontt need to be able to control at least the floor above, similar to when they're defending Teller's Archives on bank, because as soon as you lose out, they get a lot of control up there. Now, we have seen a lot of good teams that know how to use C4 well be able to contest that from below, but it's risky. It's a situation where you waste that C4, and all of a sudden you don't have it to try and defend yourself once they start pushing for the plant. So you do have to be smart in how you use that. We've seen, for example, some people even bringing a pulse to be able to help counter that, things like that, to get some intel before they use the C4. But Mav is at least on the Valkyrie, so that's going to be very helpful, assuming there's cameras somewhere near the spots you can actually see for from below, like the Visa office where he just put one, and ones where you can see into the piano room being a big spot where you're going to see a lot of contesting.
Now, this is different. We generally do not see mirror windows on the garage wall.
No.
Here we're going to see at least one. I didn't see if cameraman put down two, but he's got at least one on the wall, and they've opened up the floor above in piano, which means they're going to hard hold that, or they're going to be underneath, hard holding it from below.
Now see, I mean, the usefulness of that is tricky. It's a situation where, for example, they can jump out the window even or throw some C4 out if they're smart about it and have the window open above in console, but you have them, Bullet and Nesk here, taking control of the top floor very quickly from the admin side, droning it out and making sure it's clear. So Gohan's going to have to play the smart to even stay alive through this.
Yuka's likely going to be droning out Gohan on the yellow stairs here momentarily.
That's been shown to be an effective roam for Ella, though, is playing those yellow stairs just for the access to all the different floors and be able to rotate around quickly and use that 3 speed. So if he can stay alive, but he is getting droned out and teammates are starting to get down.
Yeah, Astro gets knocked out here by Zig.
Oh, the pressure coming.
And it looks like Nesk is going to be the one to challenge us here momentarily, waiting for a push by Gohan, continuing to get droned on out. Shots are going to miss, and he will go all the way downstairs over towards piano right now as Zig is going to hold on to that yellow stairs from outside.
He's going to be able to push back the site, but there we go, the pitch!
Won't. There it is. Nice job, and this is what BRK needs to continue to do.
So effective there. I really like that. They pinched him right down the stairs and then just decimated him. I mean, that's a good use of Thermite, who isn't trying to open the door yet. Hey, I'll cover your pinch for you. And that's why BRK's winning.
It's maneuvers just like that. Now their next tactic that they're going to have to do, the next feat they need to accomplish, is getting rid of anyone on the mirror window.
And that could be accomplished, if it's on the mirror window downstairs, that could be easily accomplished from above in piano now that they have piano control. See the floor starting to open up here, Buck doing his job as well.
I mean, the fact that they've taken out the bandit now says, okay, leave that mirror window intact. That way you can get a thermite charge off, because if you don't, you're leaving yourself open to a potential C4 toss out through the mirror window.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, leaving it there forces them to be the one to have to open it.
Looks like Nesk is going to be pressuring from the yellow stairs here onto cameraman inside of the middle office. Garage has been opened up, and it looks as though we are going to have the diffuser inside of Zig's hands outside by the van.
Oh, the pre-fires here. We've seen a lot of good clutches from mirrors in that position before, so it's certainly not something that we haven't seen done. The smoke getting stuck on the edge there.
Poor toss there, and we're going to have Nesk picking up a frag on the Moringa. Mav, though, grabs a refrag onto one, and the diffuser gets planted. Cameraman and Mav going to be the last two alive here for Team Fontt. Again, this is round number 1. Yuke's going to be on the top floor, possibly inside a piano. Nope, he's not. Where has he just navigated off to? Couple pre-fires going down yellow stairs, and Fontt has now taken over the stairwell, but that's not enough. They're going to need to hold on to the side of the van, get that diffuser destroyed, and Yuke going to walk away down for the count. Cameraman does get knocked out, and Mav, last man alive with 3 health and a dream against 3 members from BRK. Going to give away his position here. Bullet likely to push on out, and there's going to be the Claymore push. Mav knows he cannot win this. There's not enough time. Going to go for a kill, but before his feet even touch the ground, Zig peeks on up, grabs a frag of his own, and BRK walks away with a 1-0 lead here now.
I want to see a team figure out a better placement for that Claymore, because that is far from the first time this season we've seen someone do exactly what you saw. It does slow them down on the run out, though, and gives you a chance to get in a better position if you see it coming, but it's unfortunate. That was a... I almost want to blame Smoke a little bit there, but I think he was kind of dead either way. Had he even thrown that smoke, I think he would have died before he even got to trigger it, just because they were pushing so hard, and he was a little late. He wasn't watching it. Again, it felt like they weren't really covering the angles well. They seemed uncoordinated, whereas we're seeing BRK just like really setting up, like you said with Zig on the Thermite, setting up that flank there onto the yellow stairs door. Easy pinch there on that Ella.
BRK is a well-oiled engine right now, that is moving very fluidly. We saw
like
that
a freight train.
Like a freight train. They are able to take over one another's spots if someone gets flushed on out. We saw that last map on Bank. We see them being able to get trades to flush out the roamers to pinch onto people when they're out of position or caught in transition. And this is something that I think is the epitome of the Latin American Pro League right now, is BRK's playstyle today.
And this is what we're seeing. Like, we've seen some teams really come in strong this season by great roam play, and we've also seen teams really great at doing pinches and making that a very effective part of their strategy. And so far, BRK's doing both. And that is why it has been such a sweep so far. We are seeing Zig bring out his pulse, something I've talked about before, that I think he's a great pulse player. A little bit unconventional sometimes, but it does work for him. But we didn't see it last map. I like some of those little peak angles they set up there.
See, Zig just right there hurt himself a little bit because they put barbed wire at the bottom of those two double windows. He was trying to prone to get a better shot at it. He actually hit the barbed wire twice, and it's been destroyed.
Yeah, hopefully that wasn't a critical barbed wire for him. Hopefully it's a situation where, oh, there we go. Mav with a nice start. Finally getting a kill with that Blackbeard onto Yuke. Hopefully Yuke got all his cameras up first. Twitch drone going to be a little bit of a nuisance, I imagine, here. But they are still, look, they spend too much time outside, it feels like. Fontt definitely struggling to get map control early, whereas BRK get it very quickly. You saw how fast they took over admin.
That's one of the things that teams need to do if they want to start gaining ground, is they need to pick a room, go for it, get your foot in the door. From there, you can start progressing and overtaking more of the map. But you need to at least get inside. And like you said, they're staying outside for far too long.
Yeah, in this situation where, like, for example, admin could be taken a lot quicker if they just coordinated themselves and took flank angles. Zig trying to be a pain here, but he might waste these shots. Nope, there goes Blackbeard.
Yeah, Gohan's going to pick up a kill, but not much is going to happen here as Zig and Nesk both taking down some players off the board. Team Fontt is left with Cameraman on Buck and Moringa on Thermite. It's going to be a 2-on-3 now. It's still half the round to go.
Not the heavy fraggers on the team here. This is definitely, especially with the three that are left alive on BRK, this is not looking good at all. However, at least they have time to get in position. But if they lose even one more of them, 1 against 3 is going to be really hard to pull off at this point.
That garage will get opened up, and Cameron is going to try to cover from above, but he has 3 different avenues he's got to be wary of. The floor underneath, C4 getting tossed on up, or shots coming on down from Zig. Zig's actually above him. You've also got the yellow stairs entrance point into the piano room, as well as the main hallway. This is three angles he's got to look for.
Not to mention one of them's pulse, which means his spots are going to be called out for the other 2 to do something about it. So there's a good chance we'll see Cameraman taken off the board if Moringa isn't first.
Now, good job getting the Yokai down, but it's not enough. Nesk will pick off Moringa. That's Diffuser down and 40 seconds on the board. Cameraman's going to be inside a piano room as Zig's going to be on yellow stairs. He gets a nice frag there onto the player downstairs by Pipes, but it's all up to Nesk and Zig. Cameraman realizing he's going to take this opportunity to move on forward. Nesk right below the black car. Moves on over through the barbed wire. Nesk going to go for a peek. That's going to be a wonderful shot by Cameraman. Could he clutch this? It's going to be 20 seconds to go. He could get this plant down. And Zig, realizing that he is going to be the pulse, will try to grab this heartbeat sensor. Possible wall bang happening here momentarily. Moves on forward. And it looks as though there's some more shots. Now, before he walks out through this door, he should be pulling out the heartbeat sensor, but he's not going to. Instead, it will be a nice clutch by Cameraman, coming on strong into the kitchen doorway. Team Fontt going to get on the board here. It's 1-1 now after 2 rounds of play.
That was probably the best performance I've seen from Cameraman, like, the entire time I've seen him play. Because, not just because he like, got the kills, but I saw him baiting out people constantly. Because he's in a 3v1 situation, you have to be able to bait people out. You saw him baiting out the Zig and the person downstairs by shooting the holes in the floor and then watching the hatches, watching the door. He was waiting for those movements. He was baiting them out, got 1 kill off of it, couldn't bait Zig out and realized he was low on time. So he went downstairs and baited Nesk out on the yellow stairs, got the kill on the Nesk. Now, I mean, there's definitely a good chance Ness could have won that fight. It was not a situation where it was a guaranteed win for him, but he was trying to be in control of all the firefights he engaged in.
That right there is how you dismantle a 3v1. In the fact that what we saw Cameraman do was take each individual person in a one-on-one battle. He didn't take them in a crossfire. He didn't take them in a 1-on-2 or 1-on-3. He made sure to pick off the one-on pipes. Then he picked off Nesk downstairs by the black car. Zig was running away upstairs because he had already been spotted out. And so these were one-on-one engagements, which Cameraman came out on top of 3 times in a row.
Yeah, and that was definitely difficult. It did help Nesk was a little low on health there. So that was a situation that worked out in his favor. Also, Zig not able to pressure at the same time really didn't work out, because had he been able to pressure at the same time as a teammate, had, like, let's say Nesk was pushing up the yellow stairs and Zig pushed at the same time, there's a chance one of them would have died and then got the trade, and that would have won the round. So that would have just come down to timing.
I think it just came down to one poor judgment or one missed call by Zig. He assumed that when that engagement happened, he drew the attention of Cameraman. Cameraman was going to push him up the stairs. Instead, Cameraman made the perfect decision to go downstairs while Zig had to play time.
Yeah, that worked out in his favor because he knew Zig would have to come back at the end there to try and take advantage of it, and he played that very smartly. But again, that was a desperate situation for Fontt. So it's a situation where, again, they're on the back foot. Yeah, they won that round due to a great clutch play by a Cameraman.
You can't rely on those to get you.
But yeah, absolutely not. When you're coming down to 3v1s at the end of the rounds, that generally means you're losing, even if you win that round. Like, overall, you're just not doing great. So 1-1 now, though. Fontt back on the defense. Can they make this roam play work this time? BRK have been able to get in quickly before, take control of admin, take control of console office here, and it looks like they're doing the same thing again.
Now, Astro is going to be the one on the yellow stairs this time. Looks as though he might be moving away, as Ness going to put some pressure onto him. No, he is going to stay here. And this looking like he will be spotted out. Astro goes down very quickly.
That was like a bulldozer, just pushing in ADS the whole time, ready to get the kill.
And that's the benefit of having your team drone out for you. He knew that, okay, maybe the yellow stairs weren't droned out, but the rest of the top floor was, so he didn't need to worry about his right side at all.
That's the difference between Fontt and BRK. They're doing what I call droning to action, which is the idea that if you're droning for someone to do something about what you find, as opposed to standing outside the building for half the round like Fontt, droning everything, and then your intel being useless by the time you get in. It has definitely not been working out. However, you know, anything could happen here, but again, losing Astro early has been a big problem.
Yeah, generally speaking, if you're not going to move on the information you've gathered within the first 15 seconds of actually achieving that information, it's gone stale.
Yeah. And, I mean, Gohan now caught out. He's in a situation where they already have the top floor to put pressure on him. It's not where they're trying to get in. They're already in. So now, again, they're going to be able to use that drone until, yeah, they lost the drone, but now they know exactly where he's at. And he's not going anywhere. In a situation, again, where we have another switch up. Instead of Astro on Ella, it's Gohan. So they're definitely trying things, but so far they haven't shown to be effective. I mean, we'll see what Gohan does this round. He could pull off some good kills, but so far a bit slow.
Yeah, Moringa's going to tag the feet here of Bullet, but not do too much damage. Actually, no, that injured him, I think, or took him down to 1 health or so.
Yeah, he's going down here pretty quick.
There's Gohan. He will pick up a kill as Cameraman grabs a C4 onto Zig. Plant is successful here by BRK. They've got two more people now that Yuke's gone down. One and Nesk going to be the last 2 alive, and it looks as though we will have one picking up a kill. Last 3 for Team Fontt going to be Gohan, Cameraman, and Moringa. Moringa's going to go for the plant, or go for the destruction here. Looks as though he will be able to grab this, as one will have to push right now, and there's not going to happen right now. Cameraman going to hold on to it, and this round will go to Team Fontt. Successful defense here on the bottom floor.
Unfortunately, he almost could have used his Hibana charges if he had any left to open up more of that wall for himself. But that was definitely a tough situation. He was not in position. I don't think that went exactly as they planned it in terms of they did do a good job of getting top floor control early. But then they spent way too much time for the rest of the round trying to get set up for the plant, because it was down to like 23 seconds at that point when kills started coming down from the defenders. And Fontt definitely played that a lot better that time. I think that was some good adaptations in terms of how they played it upstairs. But again, not as effective for Astro.
Yep.
So Gohan at least was able to stick his ground. They probably should have pressured him out of there better. Maybe they needed someone set up in position on the side of admin to try and take advantage of that intel that they got, as they had top floor control, but deciding to ignore him didn't really work out for them. So we are going to see another Rook, interesting here from Zig, the old the 3 armor, as we joke. Going to be down here for Garage again. They're going to be trying to bring it back to even points here, and we are going to see a Ying from Moringa this time.
Yet this time we are not going to see a Mira. We're not going to see a Smoke. This kind of defensive hold is one that to me feels like you're going to rely on that Yokai to do the work at the final moments of the round. And that's a risky move. Very risky move. We've seen it go in favor of the defenders. We've also seen it not go in favor of the defenders from time to time.
I feel like when you don't have enough smoke, especially in the Latin American regions, you need enough C4. And unfortunately for them with no Mira, that means they're down a C4 and the Vector, which is, I'd rather have Valkyrie and Mira than a Rook, for sure. Because that is just not, I don't know, I'd rather see Zig on Pulse at this point, just have the extra C4 and know that he's an effective Pulse player.
Yep.
So not sure what the Rook is for there, as most shots tend to be headshots in this game. Almost rather see him on Doc.
Doc is a headshot magnet. I've played some Doc. I've not really played Rook, but my experiences with those 3 armors is that Rook has a very small head. Doc has head the size of an elephant.
It's unfortunate. So they are spending a lot of time outside again, something we seem to be a problem for them, but it is only 45 seconds in. So they still have more than enough time to make this work here, and they've definitely changed their lineup a bit. Having that Ying there will make for better play if they're doing last-minute attacks here, because it gives them the ability to confuse as much as possible before they make a last-minute desperate push. But they've got to time it right. I mean, there is less C4 on the board, though, for the defenders to do something about Ying, and no smoke as well. So they might be in a great position to play exactly against what BRK are doing.
Now we are going to have that Ella, which is going to be Nesk, droned out in the back of the van. Typical spot. I mean, there's nothing big. He just needs to play his cards right, time it correctly. That's what the Ella mines are going to be used for when that push happens. But there's still plenty of time here. Team Fontt's going to move in, most likely. They are just basically looking through the garage at the moment. They're likely to go for a Ying and Smoke plan.
Oh, here we go. Gohan coming from the back, if that's what he's doing right now for the cafeteria, this is exactly what needs to happen. He needs to be able to get to the back, put some pressure on, then they can push.
Ooh, wonderful pick by Mav, peeking on through the garage, grabs the frag onto Zig. That's first one on the round.
3 armor don't matter if you get tapped in the face, and proving that right there. Mav finally with another good kill from Blackbeard, proving why he picked him at least.
There's a good kill by Gohan. That's going to be from the back, as you just said. That pressure now forces Nesk to be flanked, and he's got to be very wary of it. There go the Yokai drones. Are going to move on over. Will the plant get stopped? We are going to see the plant try to go down here. Nesk picks up, one picks up the shots onto Gohan. Cameraman trying to go for this plant, but I think the Yokai might be doing its work. It has stopped it. Cameraman is backed on out. Mav going to go for some shots to the door. Again, not going to work. Another shot. That's the last of the 3 Yokais pushes. And will he be able to wait off enough time for this plant to go down? Oh, and it gets destroyed now. That's why you don't depend on it. 20 seconds to go and a 2-on-4 here. Team Fontt can take a lead 3-1 now if they can secure this attack. Looks as though one's going to move in forward, get hit from the side. That's going to be one more kill. Astro picks that up. Last guy alive going to be Bullet. 15 health in a dream. Spots Moringa over the side. Grabs one headshot. Cameraman as well. Swings on over to the crawl space. And Team Fontt comes out on top 3-1 now. They have 2 more rounds to go. And we'll be headed to the 3rd and final map.
That was a good combination of Fontt playing it smart, doing the pinch like I was talking about. Yeah, he died after he got his kill, but all he needed to do was make them turn around.
Yep.
Because you saw the timing. As soon as he got his kill, they started their push. They had smokes. They had the Candelas. They had the ability to go in there, and there was no counter smokes. There was very little counter C4. I mean, again, that was the mistake, I think, on BRK's side, is the composition they brought was exactly the weakness that they were going to be able to exploit, especially once Gohan started making that pressure from the back. They just couldn't do anything at that point. And, I mean, I like that they were at least trying to counter the attack once the diffuser was starting to go down, trying to find an angle where they were going to have to stand up to try and get away after they play. You know, that's typical thing. You put the diffuser down and you start to run. But you saw Thermite even just lay prone and take advantage of it and say, I'm not going to pop my head up and get shot, because they know exactly what I'm going to be doing. So Fontt really played that well and just played right into the weakness of BRK. I hope we don't see a repeat of that from BRK. I hope they change their lineup to be a little smarter next time. Like I said, don't depend on the Echo Drone. It did a great job at first, but they started the plant with so much time left then it didn't matter. That yokai only lives so long.
Cameraman hears the drone. He's trying to find it. He just can't do it. It's out of the bush there.
He's going to melee the whole bush. Just throw a C4 on the bush just to take it out. That is unfortunate. But Cameraman, interestingly, playing the Pulse here. I think he is a great C4 player. I bring that up because I've seen a lot of C4 kills over the last few seasons from Cameraman, and we've seen a few from him this match alone. And so I think you should always put him on someone that has a C4, and him playing Pulse here works for that. Gohan, though, hopefully for his sake, he can be as effective this time as he was last time and staying alive for a while. Trying to defend this.
Now, the plays that we saw, the type of teamwork we saw from Team Fontt last round is what we saw from BRK throughout all of Bank. This is the Team Fontt that we've known about. We didn't see him last map, but they are making an appearance here, and that's what I want to see. I want to see these two teams go head-to-head in this fashion of playstyle.
Yeah. And I mean, if Fontt wins this and they go to Oregon, that'll be very interesting as a decider map because BRK have played it 3 times, won it 3 times. Fontt have played it twice, won it twice. So it is really a good decider map if it makes it there. So far, it's looking like it will, but as I say that, Moringa gets taken down, and that is the smoke off the board. That is a good start for them.
Very good start, and as we see, that's going to be Nesk picking up the first frag yet again.
Also, we did make a note of it a bit. This is also a top floor bomb site, which we're not seeing very often anymore, going up to console. So almost surprised they didn't choose lobby. But you know, they don't prefer it, so that's fine. But they're going to have to defend it a little bit differently. But it is all about top floor control, regardless, especially this time. But this is where the Cameraman on the Pulse can be very effective with that C4 once the defuse tries to go down. And there's a C4 coming out already on Nesk. I think he might have been even on his drone, and that is
he was on his drone, thinking
bad
he was
timing.
nice, safe and sound. He'll go down by the C4 from Mav.
And that's why you don't check your email on the yellow stairs. So that is a good trade, though. Nesk off the board for Moringa is actually, I think, in Fontt's favor here, unless they really need that smoke to delay it.
One's going to be on the connector window right now. Repelled Gohan to his right-hand side. Gohan might go for an aggressive peek here, but I think it'd be in his best interest to stay still. No, he will go for a peek. Spots him out, takes some bullets in return. It's going to cost him a massive chunk of his health. Yuke also has repelled on in. Hit the yellow mine, goes down. That's also Diffuser falling inside of the corner office. 35 seconds to go. Cameraman peeks on out, picks up a frag as well. It's all here up to 1. He's now changed windows over to the corner office in a 3-on-1. However, Gohan and Cameraman are both one-shot wonders. He could go down at any moment. Astro swings on in, but Gohan's going to pick up the frag from the connector. And we will see round number 5 go to Team Fontt. It's 4-1 in favor of Team Fontt.
Well, speaking of Fontt and their huge reversals, looking like we could see a 5-1 from them this time, because it just seems like we're not seeing the coordination on some of these attacks now. It feels like BRK have lost that magic feeling that we saw the first round, because we're seeing them engage in a lot of these 1v1s that they don't need to be engaged in.
Yep.
And you see Fontt spreading out a lot better. And I think that is a big advantage that they finally capitalized on and say, oh, maybe we should spread out better, but also like cover ourselves in a way that we can win these 1v1s because they're not coming at us with pinches now. And that's the downfall here of BRKs. They're not pinching the same way. You're not seeing them both on the same, on the same room from different windows, for example. You're seeing them mostly just kind of try and engage these guys and take that map control like one at a time. And you saw like even one almost got a kill there, but he was trapped in a situation where he was trying to engage that Ella one-on-one. And I mean, an Ella versus a Thatcher, generally the Ella's going to win that engagement. However, here we go, another attempt for BRK to try and make a comeback here, because if they lose this round, they are out of this map and have to fight Oregon, which is anyone's game.
Yeah, I mean, speculating about Oregon, it really comes down to, I'm going to say that bottom defense. And with Latin America relying on Ying very much so, I have to wonder if Latin America is going to be the first region to come up with a very solid strategy for how to deny the Ying Smoke Candela plan.
Yeah. Oh, and correcting myself, I realized I actually was reading wrong. Oregon actually was one that Black Dragons took BRK out and won 5-2, so they did have at least some weaknesses on it.
Okay.
So either way, they both won it twice. Yeah, this is it'll be interesting to see what kind of operators get used, as we've seen a good variety from both these teams. Sometimes the choice is not the greatest, but definitely some variety. I mean, we haven't seen a cap can or anything yet, or a Tachanka, but probably not likely right now. They are getting the garage door open at 40 seconds in. That is a good start for Fontt here. Now they've got a similar setup to what they had last time, but last time BRK also had a bad lineup to defend it. So they're playing it smarter this time. It's not going to be as easy for Fontt. No Mira though, but again, also no smoke, depending on the Echo again. So hopefully Zig is able to do something to make sure that the Echo isn't the only point of defense here.
You can see the usefulness of Gohan's Twitch drone right now, getting rid of some Ella mines, some Valkyrie cameras, going around and stopping, getting rid of and removing the utility that's going to prevent them from getting the plant down.
Yeah, we'll see if he's as effective, but there's Yuke. There's a C4 kill. That's what they needed, is get those C4 kills, and that's the Candela's down, so that is going to be a big part of the push weekend.
That's a very good kill, especially if you're trying to, like you said, go for that Candela smoke plant. A minute and a half still left to go. Ness going to be playing by the pipes. We are going to have one behind the van. And he's likely going to be on his Yokai drone trying to stop this push.
Neska's in a tough position. If he's got some Elemines to cover his flank, he might be fine, but he could easily get surprised from one of the sides. You see how paranoid he has to be watching multiple angles just standing on the open like that.
EMPs are going to go out, and we are likely to see some flashbangs get tossed on in. However, that one's going to miss, and there's one pickup by Nesk. He's going to grab two. Can he grab three? He's going to duck back behind the staircase, picks up a third one. That's 3 headshots, moves on over, and now it's all up to Gohan, man outside by the garage. C4 is going to go out, and it's going to miss. One will be injured, not taken down just yet, but diffuser's not in his hands. There's 45 seconds to go, and now it's going to be a 4-on-1. Gohan has given away his position, and Bullet will be there to decapitate him. That's going to be round 6 going to BRK. They are not ready to give up just yet. It's 4-2.
I like the way Nesk read into the fact that they went for heavy push last time, and they knew they were desperate once they'd lost the Ying. And he just stayed in that position, just ready, covering his flank a little bit on the yellow stairs there, but definitely set up. I mean, the only way to really have countered him well was to either pre-fire that spot there, use some kind of utility like a grenade or something to pressure him out, or just flank him from the yellow stairs.
Well, I thought I saw, it was either Blackbeard or, no, Thatcher wouldn't have had it. Someone tossed in a flashbang, it looked like, but I think it hit off of the wall that Nesk was using to cover instead of actually going around it and hitting the stairs.
So, I mean, it was a risky spot to be in, but the fact that they didn't pressure him from yellow stairs allowed him to get a 3K from it because they were just running low on time. They didn't have the utility they needed because Ying wasn't just bringing the Candelas. Ying was bringing the smoke as well, and once that was down, that was like double utility down for them. So that was an unfortunate situation, and a nice play by BRK, finally doing something different on that bomb site and making it work, and that is a good start for them. If they can defend their other bomb sites as well and manage to get these attacks back to the way they were the first round, I could see them bringing this to overtime.
I mean, good. Fortunately here for Team Fontt is that round was not end-all be-all for them.
Yeah.
They still have room to grow. They still have room to improve and actually come out on top for this map at least. And we'll have to see how it unfolds.
Yeah, despite match point, I still think there's a good chance this could go either way, just because like we did see that BRK made adaptations that they needed to, and were successful with it. So that to me says there's a possibility of a good comeback coming. I mean, they were being a bit sloppy on the previous rounds, and hopefully they were like, oh hey, like let's not do that. There's that mirror window on the outside again. Not sure we see a lot of effectiveness from it other than trying to decide whether or not they need to defend that. But, I mean, from piano, you can take out that mirror window still. It has to become a C4. I guess, I mean, maybe the point is just for a C4 throw. Or at least bandit tricking, but we're seeing BRK stuck outside a little bit here trying to decide where to go in. Maybe not taking these rooms as fast as they would like. Nesk, though, however, doing what he'd usually done, he's becoming a little predictable taking this particular room, but he hasn't really been punished for it yet.
No, but Gohan and Astro have changed their positioning. They've moved on over away from the yellow stairs, taking over admin.
That has become a problem because when they were winning previous rounds, they were taking admin first. Now that they're not, I think it's actually working for Fontt. Like holding that admin there, not being contested. You see Gohan rotating down the stairs. And Astro's still going to be in a good position. Astro has been killed when he's been doing this. He hasn't been super effective on it. So that could be bad that Gohan left. But they're not pushing him either way. So it's really slowed down for BRK.
Astro's merely just spending time using it as wisely as possible as BRK has to flush him out or leave him be. But either way, it's going to take up some time here. And it looks as though Bullet knows exactly where he is. His Twitch drone is in position. But Astro doesn't need to get over aggressive. He knows he can just play cautiously.
You've got Bullet and Nesk, though, putting pressure on there. Nesk all the way down here, actually, starting to open things up for his team. And there goes Moringa. He's been the first to die quite a few times now, unfortunately. Losing that smoke again early, but they have plenty of C4s to be able to contest this still.
Now it looks as though they have foregone the push onto Astro. I think Astro's still going to stay up top for the moment. But BRK has opted to just go around, go push towards Garage and cover their flanks.
I mean, they are getting a little bit low on time and a little slow at this, but 45 seconds is still enough time to make this push, but a 5v4 is still difficult with 30 seconds left.
They are going to grab that drop hatch inside of the bathroom, opened up now, and it looks as though Yuke still might be trying to cover this. Mav going to be in the back hallway. Astro, though, as he was left uncontested, drops into the middle lobby, picks off the kill there onto one. A 4-on-4 now, 25 seconds to go. Cameron's going to try to stop this push in, as Zig's going to go in with the diffuser, hits the LMI, but goes for the plant anyways. Now there's 15 seconds left to go. Cameron's going to move over, try to go for a C4 toss. But with moments to go, BRK needs to move in, and that's going to be a double kill there. Nice job here by Yuke. He's going to grab one. Nesk with another. Cameraman going to be the last man. No, he goes down. Gohan has the last kill to say about it. Nesk, though, he will be here with the plant, and Gohan going to move on over. Will Nesk get ready for it? Some wallbang's going to happen, but the bullets are not going to land. Nesk going up against Gohan. Plant has gone down. This is good. Could be for the map. Nesk going to be right inside of the site, right by the van, waiting for Gohan to move on forward. Spots the head and grabs it! Gohan grabbing a very nice clutch, and he will be able to secure this round. 5-2 is how Team Fontt wins map number 2.
That was definitely brutal there. Gohan playing it well, almost like Cameraman in his attempted clutch there. So that was unfortunate in terms of Nesk sticking his head out just a little too far. That was definitely a peak battle in terms of making sure who won that was who could peak it the best. 2 3-speeds against each other with great guns. Plant's already down. Really, I mean, it was in Nesk's favor in a sense.
It was. And I mean, what we saw there again and again were individual fights that should have been taken in 2-on-1s, 3-on-1s. But for Team Fontt, they have come out on top on this map. They've shown us that although they did not win on Bank, which for the majority of the community they think is, we all think that it's their map. Turns out it's not. Turns out Consulate might be.
Yeah.
But it is time for some highlights here. Let's take a look at how Consulate went down in favor of Team Fontt.
This is part of that Cameraman clutch that was so good. That getting that 3K to win the round. It was definitely a desperate situation too. This was a good mind game between these two as they tried to figure out who's going to peek where.
I couldn't help but feel like if the Pulse right there would have used that heartbeat sensor, would have spotted him out better.
Yeah.
Than simply just trying to back up and bait him out with sound.
Gohan definitely the MVP with a lot of great kills, not to mention that clutch at the end, but Nesk was also the MVP of his team, and it felt like sometimes it was Gohan versus Nesk. I mean, literally was at the end, but I feel like a lot of the time that's kind of how it came down to, is those were the two getting a lot of the kills. I mean, you had Cameraman fragging above Astro. That's just off the scoreboard. It surprises me that Fontt won as far ahead on points as they did.
Yeah, no, I mean, they definitely stepped it up this game, or this map in particular. Oregon is our third map in this series, and Oregon is one of those maps that a lot of teams gravitate towards because I feel as though it's fairly balanced, and we do start seeing different types of tactics utilized. It's not fully developed like we constantly say Clubhouse is. There's still room to grow on it.
I mean, we've seen a variety of different strategies this season, especially because I feel like they're building on top of all the previous strategies and adding new ones. And like, I mean, for example, Meeting Hall alone, the way people defend it has like so many different varieties to it now.
Yes.
Like you can see some standards to, okay, we put a mirror window here and here, or we reinforce these walls and castle these, or we have people play in the attic like this. So there's some elements of predictability, but because everyone's playing it a bit differently, you can't really count on that, and that's why we're seeing so much dynamic play on this map.
Well, there was one last night, I think it was, on the Oregon plays. We saw one that I hadn't really seen before, and if you're in Meeting Hall and you're facing the lobby, you've got your left side single wall that's right by the garage doorway. That was barricaded, or that was reinforced, and there was a mirror window placed on that. There were castle barricades stopping a push from lobby into Meeting Hall. And when push came to shove, they opened up the mirror window, tossed a C4 through the soft wall of the top of the stairs, and threw it on down to the bottom of the laundry stairs, almost getting a frag. I've not seen that level of defense in the meeting hall before. We see, okay, drop hatches open, reinforce the kitchen pantry, but not to that extent. That was a little different take that I like seeing.
I think that softwall being opened up is something we're seeing a lot more teams do and utilize, both from defense and offense, because, like you said, that offers an angle because there's a lot of meeting hall action now to offer those kind of angles down those stairs. It used to be about just having the top from by armory door. Yeah. Now people are using that softwall instead to get that angle to be more dynamic in the lobby area. So, seems to be working.
So again, as we say, Oregon is our third and final map. You said before that these teams have both won twice and lost twice, or both played twice?
So they both have won twice, but I misread it, and actually BRK have lost it once. Okay. But it was against Black Dragons. So yeah, I could see that. They put up a few rounds. It wasn't necessarily like a crush or anything. It wasn't like a 5-0. So they do have good strategies for it. Unfortunately, the 2 times that they won it were against the same team, which was Merciless. So that doesn't necessarily tell us a lot in terms of that, because Merciless just haven't been especially strong this season. So I could see this going Fontt's direction. It really depends. So we saw very different things going on from Fontt to BRK on the different maps. So on BRK, on the first map, we saw really good roam play, we saw really good pinches, and we saw them lacking that on the second map.
Yes.
And we saw Fontt, on the other hand, doing a bit better on that.
They turned it around.
Exactly. So it's a question of who's going to take that and bring this to Oregon. If we see both of them take it, it's going to be really dynamic. We could see a 6-5. So, but we are seeing 3 maps. And that was what we were thinking might happen here, and that's perfect for this good test.
I think that is perfect. I think it tells how close the matches are by us going to the third map, and I think it tells how in tuned with these teams the community is, because the community was weighing 55-45 in favor of Team Fontt. But, I mean, as we saw here, these teams can go back and forth with their strategies. They can go back and forth with how effective they are, how motivated they are. And as we saw, BRK demolished Team Fontt on the first map, but Team Fontt came right back around. So third map is going to be where it's all going to come down to. Again, the winner of today's match between these two teams will go to the Brazilian finals for the entire Pro League of Season 3. The loser will have to sit the sideline.
They do get to be next season, though, so there is that. There is that plus. I mean, between these two, though, whoever goes, I think, probably deserves it at this point.
Agreed. Let's head into our game, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be here on Oregon map number 3. It's one map for BRK, 1 map for Team Fontt. Let's take a look at their operator selections here.
So, starting down in the laundry, I believe. Always try and roughly translate that Portuguese.
Yeah, no, that stands for laundry. I'm gonna go ahead and say.
Yeah. So they are bringing that glass. You've been very effective on that, and this is a bomb site where that effectiveness can really pay off. We've seen some great plays with countering any kind of C4 throws or smoke throws. Now, I'd said before that this is a bomb site where a lot of teams will depend more on C4 than smoke. They are bringing a smoke. We've also seen Brazil to be the ones to have that smoke on the roam instead of playing down on the site, which is always interesting. We've seen it effective. We saw Intact, for example, playing that very effectively upstairs in the dorms. And we are seeing the Capitão, so it does seem like they've got a pretty good setup for attacking either bomb site in terms of we've seen the effectiveness of all these operators for both bomb sites. So I could see potentially them just sticking with that attack lineup for, for the entire match, potentially, if it works. Defenders, on the other hand, though, bringing a mute. We've seen he's already placed down 3 of those jammers. Not sure he's really placing them so much for the roam, as just to deny a lot of intel on the site, depending on how he's using them, because there are some good choke points for those drones, and there's no Thatcher or anything to easily take those out from the attackers.
We are going to see a west side push coming out from, I believe that was Nest. I'm curious to see what the Capitão play is going to be like now. We generally see a Ying get played, and that's for the smokes. Instead, it looks as though we're going to be seeing a Glaz and Capitão smoke play.
I think that's really good, because you've got 2 different kinds of smokes. You've got Glaz with the ability to shoot through them, and then between the both of them, that wall that you usually use to contest a laundry plant is just potentially decimated, because you've got fire going behind it. You've got Glaz to shoot anyone trying to peek out of it. If they coordinate that well, this could be very, very effective.
Now, we did see Gohan almost eat a frag grenade in the chest. He's going to go back down the west stairs, play a little bit more passively as Zig, who is on the attack side, takes control of Armory.
Fortunate for Gohan, I'm going to have to lick his wounds a little bit, as he is kind of been a big player for the time that Fontt actually won. So Astro been probably the least effective I've ever seen him be maybe check those headphones again. So far, it's not been working out. Maybe it's the operator changes, but he just has not been performing to the level we generally expect from him. And that is unfortunate, as that has cost Fontt quite a few rounds here. They're definitely taking top floor control fairly easily. As I say that, of course, Gohan does get a kill there onto Zig, and that is their Hibana down. Not sure if they open up the lobby hatch or not yet, but that could be a big problem. No Thermite to do that. No, they didn't.
No, they did not. That's a really good kill.
Gohan,
Very good.
Gohan might have won this round single-handedly.
That was actually on the stairwell here. Ness is going to be very cautious. He's going to move on over to the meeting hall now. Now, what's going to happen is generally this push will likely be moving towards the red tower, towards the back now. We might be seeing BRK try to readjust themselves, realign themselves to its backwards push.
Even if they do, it looks like the mute jammer being a little bit of a problem, and that hold from Mira there.
Woo!
Oh, no.
Ness swings on in after the camera has gotten him some information. Cameraman and Moringa go down, but then Yuke will be taken out by Astro. It's going to be a 3-on-3, 40 seconds to go. Mav going to be at the top of the main stairs, Astro inside a kitchen, and Gohan bottom of the laundry room. But Diffuser's here on the stairs, and I don't know if BRK actually realizes this. They are surrounding this. Ness going to come on around. Can he grab a kill here onto Gohan? Yes, he can. That's going to be 3 for him. He's got 2 more to go, but he cannot get Mav. That makes it a 2-on-2. Bullet's going to come on over as well, force him up the stairs. And what we're going to see right now is basically a cluster moving forward. One does sneak around, grabs the frag. He's got to go through the barbed wire, moves on over to the B site. They will get this plant down. Bullet's got to go for the cover. Moving there, Mav goes down. Astro as well, going to try to challenge this here. He goes down as well. What a wonderful bait by BRK. They come out on top in round number 1.
That round was just come down to a few individual plays. Gohan almost won the round for him, putting him in a huge pressure spot and trapping the Diffuser in a spot where they were able to bait it the whole time. But them being able to grab Capital, grabbing the Diffuser as he ran and living through that is the only reason they won that. Had he died right there, I just don't see them having come out of that alive. It's just, that was very, very close at the end there. And well played by Bullet, setting up that bait there and drop shotting. Even if he died, at least he was trying to buy some time for his teammate to get that plant down and get in position. And so he did his job very well there, saving that round for BRK.
Did a very nice job, and I got to hand it to BRK. Nesk in particular, he went through, grabbed his 3 kills, paved the way for the rest of his team to go up and re-get that Diffuser. At first, I was thinking they were totally forgetting about it, but instead, they said, well, we know through our information that they've already transitioned themselves to cover that Diffuser. They're going to be expecting us to come through meeting hall. Let's focus our way downstairs. And
that's a smart way to do it, to say, hey, if their attention's not on site, now's our chance to have Ash just come in and take site. And that's exactly what he did, and it paid off.
Because not only did it catch them off guard, but it gave them control of the site for once they picked up that Diffuser.
Exactly.
If it would have went the other way around, they would have fought in garage, inside a kitchen, whatever have you, but then they still would have had to fight downstairs in laundry.
Yeah, had he not been able to do that, Capital grabbing that Diffuser wouldn't have meant a whole lot with such low health. He wasn't going to plant it or anything at that point. So, yeah, definitely a close one there for BRK. So, not the greatest start for them.
Astro is going to be back on that Twitch that we all know and love. And
there we go.
Hopefully, he's going to show us some stuff.
Maybe he's feeling good because he got some kills this time. But Gohan was still the key player last round. He's going to be on Ash. So between Gohan and Ash and Astro on Twitch, this could be pretty brutal if the defense isn't set up for it. Zig back on his pulse. I've talked about it many times. His pulse downstairs with those rushes on the stairs when smoke comes out have been extremely effective because he uses that little cubby to get the intel on where people are positioned, then catches them while they're pushing, and they're not expecting a counter push. And now, I mean, he's done it so many times. I would expect people to expect it at this point, but I've still seen it work even this season. So
now Nesk was having a little bit of pressure up inside of the kids' dorms, and so he has fallen back, gone through kitchen over towards the meeting hall. And I want to say, yep, there he is, picking up a frag onto Gohan. We will also have Cameraman be injured off. Nesk, I think, probably doing the work for that one, but it looks as though Bull will pick up that frag. 5-on-3 now as BRK's going to try to pull away in a 2-0 victory here.
Yeah, looking pretty good here. Oh, there's Mav off the board, thanks to Nesk. That's his second kill around, and if they can take out Astro, Moringa's going to have a really hard time.
And Nesk trying to go for some more pre-fires through the walls. Back and forth is where it's going to be, but Astro has insisted on getting out of there, grabbing that diffuser and moving back over. Moringa's going to try to challenge the shot on the bullet, successfully completing that kill, and that's going to be a 2-on-4 now.
You see these two working together to try and get out of there with that diffuser intact, but they're in a tough situation.
I like that teamwork there as Moringa pushed on down. That gave Astro the ability to open up the door, and Moringa already being in a safe spot. There's a wonderful kill there, picking off Yuke. Gas grenade does not go off. It's up to Zig, 1, and who do we have? Nesk here. Nesk still alive. There's Zig going to go for a kill behind the boxes. Shots go on forward. Moringa grabs it. That's 2 for him now. Grabs a 3rd one. Now it's all here up to 1. He tries for the C4 kill but misses. This is all up to 1. Can he grab this frag in a 1-on-2? He cannot. Moringa grabbing a 4K on the round. Team Fontt not giving it up. It's 1-1 now.
That was brutal play by Fontt. They had so much advantage on the defense. Not just man count, you had Zig on pulse there, able to tell you exactly when they were going to push. And just the lack of coordination, the lack of turtling, smoke peeking first. That was the first mistake.
Yep.
And that really cost them because then once they lost that momentum, Zig was forced to try and defend himself because he didn't have smoke to help him out. He got wall banged through the boxes by being a little too greedy on his pre-fires. And then they just collapsed on them after that and left one in a bad spot.
I would have preferred, I want to know what the intention of smoke peeking out and tossing the smoke grenade was. Was the intention to stop them from pushing the left side? If so, you didn't need to throw the gas grenade that far down.
No.
You could have just thrown it right at the intersection of that corner, and that would have done the trick as well without overexposing yourself.
Yeah, that was definitely a very big misplay. I mean, that wasn't the only one. That was definitely the one that started costing them. And Moringa doing a great job. 5 kills out of his team there. Definitely doing a bit more work than we usually see from him. Astro's definitely been more effective on the Twitch. You saw him live to the end as well. Yep. And Moringa doing a very good job on Hibana. Not dying early off like BRK's Hibana did.
No, I mean, Team Fontt right there showed us that even when you get down to the final moments and you're out at a man count, when you're down by 2, you can still, they can still formulate a coherent execution.
Yeah, it was definitely a good teamwork between the two of them that really paid off here. We'll see if Fontt can continue that. So far, like with the way that played out, I'm feeling a little more confidence in Fontt being able to take this, especially after that first map or first round that went to BRK was a bit of a desperate one. Not that that wasn't kind of desperate for Fontt as well there. So it has definitely been very neck and neck coming down to the wire for both these teams, whether on time or just on manpower left.
I think you pointed that out very, very nicely, is the fact that this is the epitome of these two teams, is these two teams coming together, the rounds going down, and clutches are happening.
Yeah, it's definitely not a crush on any rounds. They both have been very desperate wins. So I feel like it comes down to who gets that momentum, who really gets on top of their stuff and reads into the other team will come out ahead in this, but it could be a 6-5. They're definitely getting their cameras set up, though, to be able to defend this. It's almost like the kind of thing you do with an echo drone right there. But that is definitely going to help them see around the stairwell a little bit to get some idea when the push is coming. And be set up for that because they do have the smoke and they do have 3 C4s. Not to mention Gohan can come around depending on how he's set up.
Now BRK has opted to forego the Capital this time around and brought the Jackal instead. Still trying to go for the smoke plant, but what's going to be more effective?
Yeah, I think they're a little concerned with Gohan and Roam, things like that, but he's actually downstairs, and I think most of them, I'm not sure if they have any Roam left in terms of people upstairs, so maybe he's not even going to be that effective, because telling you that people are downstairs doesn't help you that much, because you're not identifying all 5. It's not like an interrogation. Something we sadly don't see in Pro League.
Asher going to try to move in a little bit more, spots it, and it looks as though you could pick him off. No, he's going to hit the railing. He's going to hit the vertical pole, and unfortunately, we will still be living alive. 3 on 5 now. Gohan's going to move him forward. Gas grenade not going to do all the trick there, but it does push him back a little bit. Moringa picks up an SMG-11 kill on the Nesk. 4 on 2 now. Zig and Nuke, last 2 alive for BRK. Asher's going to prone his way into the middle of the room here momentarily as Zig, holding on to the diffuser, is going to need to get this plant down. 40 seconds to go, and we will have, I think that is Mav coming around for a flank through meeting hall. There's a nice kill. Astro goes down. Cameraman picks up a kill. Now a 2 on 1 here. Zig has clutched moments like this before, but can he do it again? He's going to move on down. Cameraman's going to spot these feet first, and it looks as though he will pick up the kill. Team Fontt now securing round 3, goes up 2-1.
That is really unfortunate that he didn't just try and take him from the hatch. I think he might have had the advantage there had he played it smart and been able to fast peek it as opposed to the stairs, which were just a trap at that point. I would imagine Uke would have called that out. Hey, he's right there at the laundry.
That's definitely what should have happened, because as you saw, Mira was standing. You can't get an angle on that laundry basket to the drop hatch if you're standing. You can see right if you were crouched or possibly prone.
Yeah.
But Mira would not have had an angle. That would have been a clean shot.
Yeah. I was unfortunate. I think that was really well defended utility-wise on Uke. I mean, Uke missing the shots through the wire definitely cost him, because Astro could have easily been picked off there had he been able to land those shots, because he had the drop on Astro, and you could almost see a little bit of panic shots there as he tried to catch him on the run. And then all those mines, all that smoke, he was just getting demolished from all that. He still managed to go upstairs and get a kill, though, so I give Uke some credit for managing to pull off at least a little bit of a comeback there. But they are starting to seem a little flustered. I mean, looked like they felt fairly confident on that push until everything just started going sideways once those mines started going off.
Yeah, Team Fontt has definitely stepped it up into gear, and they're reading into how BRK is trying to execute this, the double smoke strat. Okay, you know the first smoke that comes out isn't necessarily going to do anything except force or allow an avenue for glass to push down. But you got to worry about that third and that fourth smoke. That's when the plant will be coming down.
Yeah, in those situations, again, they definitely read into it, and the mines helped them tell when people were going to push and also stop them from trying to move forward at all and get a better angle.
Very risky and aggressive move here from Zig. Is he going to stay put?
Oh, no, that's going to hurt.
He misses that from Gohan. And now he's going to move and corner himself inside of the armory.
I said it seasons ago, but I've never seen a pulse in armory end well. It just tends to be a trap. There's no escape. There's no drop hatches. You can get intel, but if that intel is people coming to push you, you can only do so much to contest it. Not to mention there's a window and a door, and you can't fight both at the same time.
Now it looks as though Nesk might be topside again. If not, he's going to be downstairs towards shower. No, he is here inside of kids' dorms.
I like seeing the coordinated push to try and take him out, but he is at least playing it back smart. But he needs to be prepared to escape. We've seen this end very poorly again, just like with the pulse thing for the L is trapped in this particular room. But there's no pressure on the A window, and that is a big component of this that is missing.
It's odd to me that Team Fontt's not hard pushing these roamers above, because right now Zig and Nest are both just taking over the top floor without much contesting. Instead, though, Team Fontt is going to be pushing down the red stairs, foregoing that. So maybe that's what we're going to be seeing here.
Yeah, they've decided, hey, we've got tower control. We don't need top floor control that much. We just need to be prepared for the roamers push for a retake. At least Astro back on that Twitch again.
Gohan going to try and challenge a little bit there by Uke, who's right behind the mirror window. He's going to use that SMG-11 to try to grab a nice kill, a quick kill onto Gohan.
The patience here. Plenty of time left to do this, though. So he certainly isn't.
There's a good flashbang. That's going to be it. Breaching charge going out. Another flashbang coming through. Third one out for the count. Now Gohan's going to rush on in here, try to pick up one. He picks up one. Mav also getting one as well. BRK falling apart here. Gohan with another kill. A 4-on-2 now. Zig and Bullet. Last two alive. Bullet's going to be inside of the middle of the closet. C4 from Zig goes out and grabs a frag onto Gohan. Cameraman's got to move in. He's going to be inside a box, moving towards it. Zig again trying to get some more information, see if anyone's above him. No one yet. Means push is coming from the back. Cameraman's moved on into the B site. He can go for a plant, but he's got to wait for the call. There it goes. Call's going to come on forward. Mav gets destroyed on the frag. And now a 2-on-2 here with Zig, still getting some information as who's coming around from meeting hall. No one just yet. Cameraman finally goes for the plant as Moringa's got to cover. He's going to be downstairs to the left, right under the drop hatch. Gets one kill. And Pulse should be able to come up on top. Grabs one, grabs two! Look at the kill. The plant does go down, but it's not enough. And BRK will tie this back up after a tremendous clutch here by Zig.
That was really good teamwork between those two. Zig playing the long flank there, taking advantage of the heartbeat sensor to really get good intel, call stuff out to his teammate. Yeah, maybe Bullet couldn't win all the gunfights, but he won enough to really put a dent in and give Zig the perfect opportunity to come crushing down, because he contested Hibana right before Zig just dropped down and just Gooba stomped her. And that was a great play by Zig, having that intel, knowing to make that move at just the right time. And then Thermite, unfortunately, was stuck in a tough spot.
Did you just say Goober stomped?
Goomba.
Goomba. What is a Goomba stomp?
Mario?
Oh, okay. Jeez.
This isn't Mario?
I thought you said Goober stomp. I was like, what?
Close enough.
Close.
That was kind of a goober move. So that is bringing it back to a tie, though. So looking potential here for BRK, although, again, that was a little bit hectic for them. Like we said, pretty much every round been a bit disparate at the end, especially those laundry fights.
Yes.
So I wouldn't say either team really dominating on any of these rounds. Definitely means that could go either way, a little bit back and forth. We are going to see dorms, though. That should be interesting, as I believe this is the first time we've seen dorms. So that is going to be something different for Fontt to defend. Maybe this will be their weakness, or maybe this will be them going another point ahead.
So, for those that have just been tuning in the past 4 rounds or so, we mentioned it earlier, we'll mention it again, that the winner of this series goes to the LAN event for Season 3. The loser will have to sit the sideline and unfortunately will not be playing. But I do assume that because this will be in their home turf, that they are going to be participating and joining at the LAN event.
Yeah, I would hope they'd at least be seated there.
On.
Yeah, maybe we'll see all 8 teams there regardless of their status.
That would be amazing to see.
Yeah, definitely cheering on for their teams. They are taking a while to get some positioning in here, as this is a bomb site they haven't attacked yet, so they need to get more intel than usual because they don't know what to expect necessarily. But they are taking west control.
Generally speaking, we see a red tower take often more than not. But here we're going to be seeing a west tower, and kind of the west end push. Mavs still has to hold down this site. There's going to be a nice nade coming on out. C4 comes in return, but barely touches either of them.
Yeah, unfortunate timing for him. They still have Cameraman with a C4, but that is going to hurt. However, speaking of hurt, Gohan taking down Nesk is a big deal for this attack. Really slowing down after that.
They are. Now, the benefit here that Bullet has is he does have 1 frag grenade left. However, it's likely going to be used here. Oh, good job by Bullet spotting the shoulder of Mav as he drops to the corner. He'll be taken down. Yuxaw's going to take that advantage, take that time to move in a little bit. Cameraman now feeling a little bit claustrophobic. He's going to be pressured here by multiple people from BRK. Zig swings around, picks up the frag. Astro's also been hurt here, so as well as Moringa. In a 4-on-3 now.
The important part, too, is that Zig pushed that without taking any damage back in a situation where he knew he was going to be trying to counter it, but he was too busy kind of rotating around, and pushing aggressive like that did work out for him. This could be the round that finally we see a lead here from BRK. But then again, how many rounds have we seen now where it comes down to the last 2 or 3?
It's going to be a 1-on-4, and we're going to see Team Fontt could come back and clutch this probably.
Trapped animals. Gohan's still alive, though, so there's definitely potential here, especially with Astro alive as well. And Moringa's been a big fragger for them, so.
Now, the one issue that I see here with BRK is they are forcing their way in through basically a single pinch point. And that's going to be that A window. Yuke is going to cover moving forward, but he gets taken out here by Gohan inside of the middle dorms. Wonderful shot, but 25 seconds to go. 3-on-3 still. You've got Bullet and Zig out front as one's going to be inside of the white tower. Right now, this is looking like Team Fontt's going to be holding this down nice and easily. Gohan picking up a frag on a Bullet as well as Astro here on a Zig. A 3-on-1 now. One last man to alive, and he goes down by Gohan. Team Fontt securing round 5, going up 3-2.
Gotta say, after seeing that round, starting to worry about BRK's chances here. Fontt have seemed to play every site pretty well for the most part. I mean, obviously 2 points have gone over to BRK, but they've been hard-fought points. And so far, Fontt has continued to maintain the lead. And that's all you have to do if you could get 2 rounds in a row on that at one point. Boom, you're done. You won. Because once they get to 4, that's all you got to do is get 1 more. So BRK need to be able to at least take this round back. If they lose this round, it's definitely a bad situation to be in.
Yeah, regardless if it's 4-0, 4-1, 4-2, or 4-3, you don't want to be that team that's not at 4 first.
Yeah, especially 4-2. That's generally the death sentence for a lot of teams. However, you know, BRK, Zig has been really coming alive. Zig wasn't one that was a really top fragger last time, whereas Nesk had been kind of the guy. Nesk and Bullet been doing a lot of work. Maybe it's coming down too much to Zig, but he is performing, so that is good. Fortunately for them, Fontt performing slightly better.
Yeah, one seems to be struggling a little bit on this map here, and I gotta say, this is not the map nor the series that you want to have an off day on.
No, you definitely do not.
We saw what happened with Road yesterday, and that was very unfortunate for them, having a couple players with their off days.
Yeah, it was like everyone taking a vacation but Eclipse. So Gohan pushing in aggressively. We've seen some good aggressive Ashe pushes from both sides, especially Nesk. But Gohan's been pretty successful. Again, this Gohan on Ashe and Astro on Twitch has been working for them, and I wish we'd seen it earlier, because then maybe he wouldn't have gone to 3 maps even. Cameraman, though, playing it smart, taking advantage of that little crack everyone likes to use.
Yeah, this seems more like a standard push almost, where they're taking over Red Tower. We already see Gohan working his way downstairs, and Bullet gets spotted out. Gohan's going to go. And
oh, Bullet wins it.
What a pre-fire. Nice job here by Bullet.
Low health now, but absolutely worth it. Taking Gohan off the board was worth, even if he gets killed, just because that is going to be a big part of their push, the prong down. Astro takes a little bit of damage as well from something.
I thought for sure that Gohan was going to pounce on top of Bullet, but Bullet just recognized what was happening, went for a very good pre-fire.
Mav taking down Nesk is a good kill from him, but then that's traded off onto Astro from Yuke. So far, 2 of the top fraggers going down. Now, Moringa has been good on that Habana as a fragger, so Cameraman and Mav going to have to step it up in this 4v3.
Now, I don't think I have to remind anyone that there was a 4v3 last round, and Team Fontt managed to secure a nice victory.
That means nothing in this match. But it is important that there is some top fraggers off the board. Nesk is off the board, Gohan's out, Astro's down. So it is going to be up to the other players to step it up. One needs to do a good job here holding this as long as possible so the rest of his guys can do their work.
Yeah, Mav holding onto this A window, he's gonna be a very key part of trying to make sure that the defenders cannot rotate freely. Cameraman as well gonna try to grab a little bit of attention over here by the window by middle dorms.
We'll see if one can counter Mav here, because he has been his bane, on bank at least, in terms of taking down that Blackbeard. So Mav's definitely gonna have to try and avoid repeating that. He's definitely doing a lot of pre-firing exactly to do that.
Now Zig has managed to get on over to the White Tower. He could grab a very nice flank onto Mav. Moringa did look on over to it, but I don't think, oh, Mav was ready for it. The drone had the call out from his team. Zig goes down without a second thought. However, there is Habana. Moringa falls by, I think that's gonna be Bullet.
Yeah, that was a good trade there. Now, Mav's basically down. It's all down to Cameraman. Not an easy clutch to pull off here, and he's not going to.
Well, he grabs one, 2 more to go. Bullet's 1 bullet away from dying on the right-hand side. Flashbang goes out. He's going to challenge the left side. Goes in, smacks him on down. Could this be the case? Are we going to see a wonderful clutch here by Cameraman? He's going to go for the plant. 3 seconds to go, and we know Bullet has to brush this. He's going to move in forward. And here's going to be the kill. There it is. No, he doesn't! Cameraman! What a flick! You are a monster, Cameraman. Securing what a clutch here. Grabs the diffuser. Here's the steps. Goes on over pre-fire. Just slams the face into the wall. Team Fontt now goes up 4-2 in what should have been BRK Esports' round. We are now on match point, series point, LAN, invitation point.
You saw Cameraman got off that diffuser so fast for that flick, the diffuser spun around twice. It was Cameraman, when those clutch situations as Thermite, is just playing it. Or no, he was Buck before.
So that goes good and bad. There are many players that try to make that instant, okay, diffuser planted, let me go for a flick. There are many players that do that, but pull off just a fraction of a second too quickly. And there's players, like we just saw Cameraman, who can do it a fraction of a second just in time.
Yeah, that was all on timing. Absolutely, and knowing where he was coming from. Sound, I imagine, played a big factor in that.
Oh, definitely.
So now it is looking very close for Fontt. Come back to, both these guys were there last time, so either one of them not going to be too much of a stranger to it, but it is definitely looking in Fontt's favor here. They have been very strong all season, though, so it's not a big surprise to see this go down to them. Obviously, BRK were the ones coming up from the losers bracket, so in that sense, it was already in Fontt's favor. But we see what happens sometimes when these guys really are pinned up against the wall. We could see BRK come back to bring this to overtime just off of sheer ferocity.
I think Cameraman's got the willpower here, though, because he has just been on fire these past 2 maps.
So definitely don't get him in a clutch situation again. Try and kill him earlier, I guess.
You were talking about Gohan and Astro being taken out of commission, but Cameraman's the one you got to be looking out for.
I feel like maybe they just underestimate him. Always the underestimated Thermite, right? So BRK on attack again. Still not sure about Bullet on the Jackal here. I'm not sure Jackal's been effective.
I don't think so. I think I would rather see the Capital play for a basement hold, just because you do get those fire arrows. You
Yeah.
get the same amount of smokes, and even more so, they aren't interrupted by the ADSs.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's about the smokes, bring Ying then. You know, like you get a lot of extra smoke plus flash. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I question that operator choice, but it's hard to say why they made that decision, and maybe it'll work out. Yuke, though, has been mostly effective on that glass. If he can stay alive long enough to be that effective glass we need, then we could bring this. Nesk, though, already getting slowed down by those Elemines. It's going to be him versus Gohan, something we've seen a lot of.
Now, Astro is going to be, I can't tell if he's in the meeting hall or the main hall all the way down. So I think he's all the way, no, he is here. Nesk right underneath of Gohan.
Oh, no. I don't know if Nesk knows this. Gohan just has to time this right. Fortunately for him, he leaves.
This could be the downfall of BRK if they do not check Attic. And right now, they think it's all clear.
Yeah, this is going to come down to good intel. I don't think they're going to be jumping a drone up that ladder anytime soon to catch him up there either.
Nope, and here goes Gohan. He's going to pounce, grabs one on the nest, turns on over. Can he get another kill? To the side is going to be Bullet. He manages to down him off, and that's a good frag
Oh, there goes Yuke.
Ooh, that's going to be the glass off the board. That's going to be that smoke play thwarted now. 50 seconds to go. A 4-on-3. Team Fontt has managed to do wonders with this round, picking apart Nesk and Yuke. Gas grenade's going to go off, going to try to counter Zig from trying to go for this plant. And we could see Team Fontt here walk away with a victorious lead here. Zig and Bullet are the last two, as one has been injured.
They are going to be able to get him back up at least, but it is definitely going to burn a lot of time doing so.
20 seconds to go here, and it looks as though the final gas grenade might come out. Very close on the mix is going to be the shotgun by Moringa. Mav as well might have C4, trying to bait it on out, and it looks like a team kill happens. C4 to end the round by Cameraman, and that means Team Fontt is going to secure this 5-2, take home the win tonight, as well as secure their spot in the LAN finals happening on November 18th and 19th.
Now, I feel bad for whoever's going to be matched up against Fontt first.
Yes.
At the finals. Because they definitely showed, they got off to a slow start, I'll admit. I feel like they didn't seem like they had what they needed going into it. But I feel like once they lost Bank, just something clicked, and they played completely different. And it worked. I mean, that map, though, was very back and forth at first. It was very, both these teams, desperate wins. Once they got that third point, though,
I think what happened is every single round, whether Team Fontt or BRK won, whoever won, it was always down to a lopsided clutch situation that we saw.
Yeah.
And once Team Fontt